I never imagined I'd become a landowner, let alone the owner of 200 acres. But one night, absent-mindedly scrolling through online auctions, I came across a listing that stopped me cold. 200 acres of remote, untouched land in the middle of nowhere. Starting bid, $1,000. My pulse quickened. I had always dreamed of owning a private escape, somewhere quiet, somewhere untouched. Acting on pure impulse, I placed a bid. A few days later, an email arrived. Congratulations. You've won. Final price, $2,000. $2,000 for 200 acres. $10 an acre. It felt unreal. Instantly, my mind filled with plans. A small off-grid cabin, a vegetable garden, maybe a pond reflecting the sunset. It would be my sanctuary. The first time I drove out there, I'll never forget it. After miles of winding back roads, I reached the coordinates. The land was even better than the photos. Rolling hills, thick forest, a narrow creek cutting through the trees. I walked for hours, exploring every inch. The silence was deep, peaceful in a way I hadn't felt in years. As evening fell and I headed back to my car, I noticed something I hadn't seen earlier. A dusty pickup parked near the entrance. A man and woman stepped out. The man approached first. "You must be the new owner," he said flatly. "I'm Earl. This is my wife, Brenda. We live nearby." I smiled and offered my hand. He ignored it. Brenda narrowed her eyes. "We've kept an eye on this land for years. We have standards around here. We like things orderly. Think of us as the welcoming committee." "And the rules committee," Earl added. "Rules? Out here?" I tried to stay polite. "Nice to meet you. I'm excited to get started," Earl grunted. "We'll see how excited you are when you get our community guidelines." A few days later, I found a laminated sheet taped to the gate I had just installed. Community guidelines. No building structures without prior approval. Grass must remain under 6 inches. Trees removed must be replaced with 2 approved saplings. And a $100 monthly community upkeep fee paid directly to them for mowing grass that wasn't even on my land. They were treating my 200 acres like a suburban neighborhood with a self-appointed HOA. I crumpled the paper. Not happening. The next weekend I arrived with lumber to build a simple shed. I had barely unloaded the first beam when Earl's truck roared down the path in a cloud of dust. "What do you think you're doing?" he barked. "Did you get approval?" "Approval from who?" I replied calmly. "You. It's in the guidelines. $200 fine for unapproved construction." I laughed. "You can't fine me. There's no HOA." Brenda stepped out of the truck. "We are the authority here." It was escalating, but instead of arguing further, I decided to verify the truth. I went to the county clerk's office and pulled every record tied to my parcel and theirs. There was no HOA, no registered covenants, no restrictions, nothing. Earl and Brenda had invented it all. They had no authority whatsoever. The next time Earl appeared waving a so-called fee, I was ready. He handed me a paper triumphantly. $200, due in 30 days. I calmly took it, then handed him copies of official county records. I checked. I said evenly, "There is no HOA, no covenants, no authority. These fines are meaningless." His face drained of color. He muttered something about community standards, but the confidence was gone. "It's over," I said. "Do not step foot on my property again, or I'll call the sheriff for trespassing." They stood there silently. Then they drove away. The land felt different after that. Lighter. Truly quiet. I looked at the half-finished shed, the forest stretching endlessly beyond it. It was mine. Completely mine. The weeks that followed were peaceful. I finished the shed, planted a garden, spent evenings listening to the creek flow. I never saw Earl or Brenda again. Later, I heard they'd tried the same tactic on others over the years, but my visit to the county office had ended their fake authority. Sometimes all it takes is research and the courage to stand firm. $2,000 bought me 200 acres. But the lesson I gained, priceless. If you believe in something, defend it. And never let anyone bully you out of your freedom.